He was shot more than 10 times, lost an eye, lost a hand, and still walked back in the battle like death had no claim on him at all today. People around the world know war stories, but very few know the man reportedly called the real unkillable soldier, a warrior who simply refused to fall, even when silence surrounded him. But the truth behind his survival will shock you because 3 things about his life seem almost unreal: the wounds, the escapes, and the final twist waiting ahead. Each chapter of his journey feels like a legend, yet sources confirm he lived it all in real battles where most soldiers never returned. And this fact changes everything forever. Let me show you exactly how this happened, because once you hear what he endured and overcame, you might rethink what human strength truly means in the darkest moments. He was born into a world already rising toward conflict, long before anyone imagined 2 global wars would reshape nations and define courage in ways our world still remembers today. His name was Adrian Carton de Wiart, a British officer who fought in the Boer War. World War I and World War II across continents most people never saw firsthand. He stepped onto battlefields where bullets cut the air like metal rain, and yet each time he fell, he rose again with a fire that stunned every ally near him. According to reports, he was shot in the face, the stomach, the leg, the ankle, the ear, and none of these wounds forced him to stop fighting then. One story describes him ripping off his damaged fingers when a doctor refused surgery, a moment that still shocks historians who study extreme courage under violent pressure. Another account says he survived a plane crash during World War II and then crawled away with one hand to protect those traveling with him at that time. Now here's where things get really interesting, because his first great revelation comes from the numbers that done. T seem possible even in today's survival stories worldwide. Imagine this clearly: more than 10 bullet wounds, 1 missing eye, 1 missing hand, and yet he returned to command troops like none of it could remove his purpose. Most people struggle with pain from daily accidents, but he went back to the front line after wounds that would end any normal person's life in only moments. He didn't just survive. He advanced, leading charges and planning missions while wearing an eye patch and moving with the calm focus of someone untouched by fear. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this, because his second revelation shows the hidden layer beneath his impossible strength and endless resolve beyond danger. He reportedly escaped from a prison camp in Italy by climbing walls and walking miles with one hand, one eye, and old wounds reopening during the long dark journey. Compare that to now, where a sprain keeps someone home, and you see the contrast between comfort today and the brutal reality soldiers faced then during violent global conflicts. According to historians, he never bragged, never demanded glory, and never asked for special treatment, even when commanders privately said they had never seen anyone like him before. He treated war like a job he knew better than anyone. But experts suggest his calm spirit came from discipline, honor, and a strange acceptance of danger most cannot explain. This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all, because his story ends with a twist almost nobody expects after hearing his unbelievable record of survival across decades. After everything he endured, he lived long enough to retire peacefully, surrounded by quiet days far from gunfire, proving that fate sometimes grants strange gifts to unique people. It reframes the story because he didn't just survive battles. He survived time itself, which kills more legends than bullets ever could across the world history remembers today. So what does all this mean for us today, as we hear stories from distant past wars while living in a world shaped by people who refused to fall long ago? It shows that strength can come from purpose, not power, and that calm courage in terrible moments can change events more than fear ever will in dangerous times everywhere. It also reminds us that the human body can break, yet the human will can rise again when something inside refuses to yield, even when darkness grows heavy around it. Historians say his courage inspired generations of soldiers, and his story teaches us that survival isn't luck. It is a mix of training, belief, and timing we'll explain soon. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know, because this last detail closes every question open at the beginning of this wild journey today. The twist is that Adrian reportedly said he enjoyed the war, a line that confuses many people until they learn he only meant he enjoyed serving others without fear. It ties back to the opening because the man shot more than 10 times wasn't just unkillable. He saw his purpose as greater than pain, danger, or even his own life. It gives the story a deep emotional ending, showing that legends grow not from power but from stubborn hearts unwilling to step back when history needs them most. If this opened your eyes, Then his story is only the first of many incredible tales waiting in the shadows of world history and ready to be explored soon. He survived bullets, fire, crashes, prison, and time. And his journey shows how courage can rise from anyone, anywhere, when the world demands someone to stand strong today. He proved that a person can lose an eye, a hand, and blood, yet still keep moving if the mission ahead is greater than the wounds carried behind them everywhere. So if you want more stories like this, hit like, subscribe, and comment, because your support helps uncover hidden history that still shapes our world in ways you will soon discover. Watch the next video to see another unbelievable true story history tried to bury, and join our free newsletter for deeper lessons and behind-the-scenes research anytime you want.